وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم اهدنا الصراط المستقيم اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار الحمد لله رب العالمين.
Thank you so much. Sukran, salamat. Pwede na po tayong maupo. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, we would like to welcome you to the second assembly of the Interfaith Action Network for Peace. Kung maaalala natin, mga ilan sa atin dito ay nandoon at kapiling namin ng una nating ginawa, yung assembly ng Interfaith na ito. Assembly lang naman ang panawagan namin dati dito. That tribe people, that diverse culture people in the Bangsamoro or in Mindanao or for social inclusion. Pwede ba naman tayo magsama-sama not on the basis of the debating and the beautiful religion has. Sino ang mas may magandang religion? Sino mas may magandang kultura? Pagkos ang panawagan natin nung una ay magkaroon tayo ng isang espasyo na nananawagan tayo na bawat isa anuman ang iyong ay nagkakaisa tayo sa mga isyong pinakaharap natin na mas mahalaga na kailangan natin magbigyan ng halaga. Dumaloy at nagpatuloy tayo sa nagpakikipagkalastasan and we communicate to each other hanggang sa dumating tayo nito. Isang taon, pangalawang taon na natin to. And we came together to this venue as a sign that when we first do the assembly, kung ano man yung naitanim sa ating puso, in a call for a united call for peace, of whoever, whatever your faith and religion are, is so vital of today. Bigay sa atin ang welcome message para mas welcome tayo ng maayos. At this point in time, we would like to call Father Clifford L. Baira DCC to give us the welcome address. Father.
Magandang umaga po sa ating lahat. Morning. Noong nakaraang linggo, last Sunday, February 16, 2020, the conveners of the Christians for Peace movement, ako, si Sir Edgar Ramirez, si Pastor Dan, at saka si Father John Imperial ng Episcopal Church. We met the Swiss Special Envoy in the person of Miss Mo Blicker and her staff. During our discussion, we were asked kung ano ba yung perspective namin sa ongoing program of the Transitional Justice and Reconciliation as part of the normalization track of the Framework Agreement. Yun ang kanyang tanong. At ang sagot namin, instead of answering the question directly, we presented or shared our initiatives as an indirect contribution to the two main important aspects of the Transitional Justice and Reconciliation Program, which are historical memory and reconciliation. We realize that what we are doing now as an interfaith group is a direct or indirect contribution to that normalization track. Yun ang appreciation that something is going on in the grassroots community because of this network of interfaith action group. something is going on. We are addressing important issues like reconciliation, like historical memory, like addressing our bias and prejudice na nangyari in the past, na pwede mangyari ngayon, and we are doing something to address that one. Now, if you have to go back to the initial motive, why we set up this network a year ago, perhaps we all believe that there was a need for us to talk among ourselves as a tribe people. That was mentioned by Sernas. Kailangan na mag-usap-usap tayo as a tribe people. Because we know na mayroon tayong common concerns. Our faith foundations will no longer be an issue. Our faith foundations will no longer be an issue, but a good ground to see and discuss our commonality and join hands together to act, not to act on the basis of truth, is proactive minds and hearts for the sake of our future. Yan ang gusto natin mangyari. Now for the second time, this is the second General Assembly. We are here again as a community of religious leaders coming from the community of tribe people. Our sense of leadership must serve the purpose of leading our people to live in lasting peace, with healing the memories of the past and to offer pardon and reconciliation. And yet, we cannot deny the fact that our leadership is also connected to the social concerns of our people. Though we are religious leaders, we should be talking about spiritual things. Pero hindi natin ma-deny na mayroon din tayo dapat gampanan doon sa mga social concerns ng ating mga tao. A simple analogy, when there is a potable water, masarap ang tubig, everybody can drink it safely and be healthy. Right? Tama ba yun? Tama. Okay, so we need, if the water is unsafe, then everybody will be affected. Hindi naman pinipili na ikaw Muslim ka, o Christian ka, o IP ka. Pag sira yung tubig, lahat tayo apektado. Okay. So we need to protect the water. So meaning to say, we need to act and to make the water safe for the consumption of everybody. Yan, simple analogy. Kaya, to deepen more our relationship as religious leaders of the tribe people and to harness our capacities to live out the spirit of proactive servants to bring our people into greener pasture. Para sa lahat, welcome and enjoy the day. Let us.
Thank you so much, Father. That's a more of the merienda that they are serving right now at our tables. Thank you so much, Father, addressing prejudices, historical injustices. Our common concern is based on the collective social concerns. Napakagandang food for thoughts. At binigyan mo pa ng basic sample is the need. Hindi basihan ng Muslim ka, Kristiyano ka, o ng tribo mo. Kung may pangangailangan ka sa tubig, lahat ay nangangailangan ng tubig. Hindi lang ang nag-iisang religion ang may nangangailangan ng tubig. At marami pang mga issue, social issues and concerns. At this point in time, a man will stand here to recognize the participants and the guests that we have here. But before that, I would like to recognize him first. Sir A, please welcome for your recognition of participants.
Magandang umaga po sa lahat. Maayong buntag kaninyong tanan. Sinubukan kong tingnan yung listahan doon sa registration. medyo marami-rami kung isa-isahin pa kayo lahat. Pero kasi nung nag-usap-usap yung preparatory committee, yung interim committee, ilan yung expected, nagkaroon ng allocation, usapan, 50 galing sa mga Kristiyano, 50 galing sa mga Moro, at 50 galing sa mga non-Moro indigenous peoples. Nung tinignan ko yung listahan, mukhang mahirap makawalit nila na consolidate kagad. Pero nung tinignan ko yung physical setup natin ngayon, mukhang naabot. Mukhang umabot ng sandaan. By the way, so to formally recognize, we are happy that we have with us we have also our guest from the Southern Philippines Episcopal Diocese, Right Reverend Ernie Moral. Then the head of the Christians for Peace movement, we have Father Baira DCC. And the lead convener for the non-Moro indigenous peoples, we have Timuay Alim Bandara.at. Thank you, sir. And the representative of Pastor Balituan, Sir Okal. Okay, Pastor Okal. Of course, we have to acknowledge the Vicar General of the Archdiocese of Cotabato, Father Barmm DCC. May I invite you, Monsignor, to occupy the seat. There is a vacancies for you here. Okay lang. Anyway, nasa gitna ka naman, nakikita mo lahat. Thank you for coming, Monsignor Ben. So, the delegations of the Christians, basically pinaghatian yan. We have delegated in Council for Evangelical Churches. I think they are here, spearheaded by Pastor Daniel Kalubiran. Please stand up. Stand up. So, they are from the Evangelical Churches. We have also from the Roman Catholic. Nakikita natin yung ating mga religious sisters and priests. Please stand up to be acknowledged. Yan sila. Leto. Then, of course, delegates from the Southern Philippines Episcopal Church, spearheaded by Bishop. Yan sila. Doon, sa grupo. So, those are the delegates coming from the Christian communities. And we have delegates from the non-Moro indigenous peoples, spearheaded by Timuay Alim Bandara.at. Ito. And the last but not the least is being led by our brothers and sisters from the Moro communities, spearheaded by Kakagawil Ali. So we have the delegates from the Moro people. Please stand. Thank you. So, if we see our composition now, based on the first assembly, medyo dumami at mayroong mga bagong kasama, young, old, no? Makikita rin natin yung women participation ngayon sa ating Interfaith group. I think that is a good indicator, Kakagawil, that I think maganda yung takbo ng ating grupo, lalo-lalo na sa pagsulong ng isang inclusive na kapayapaan at kaunlaran. So, without much further ado, marami kayo nagtatanong, ano ba talaga, bakit ginagawa natin itong assembly natin? Second assembly. At malaman natin kailan yung first assembly. So, may I call now the lead convener of the Interfaith Action Network, Episcopal Alim.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Magandang umaga po sa inyong lahat. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Iyo po. May courtesy sa ating mga special guest, Bishop Ernie Moral, my good friend, Monsignor Cotabato, who does not like to sit with us. Pastor Ronnie Okal of ditong Kaanatan, Father Claypool Baira, Manor, Edgar Ramirez, acknowledging the arrival of our Mufti Abu Huraira. Fellow Convenor Alim Bandara, my illegitimate father. Of course, ayaw kong kalimutan itong mama na ito. Isa siya sa mga gumawa ng paraan para magkaroon tayo ng assembly. Si Noel Pedrola ng UANP. Siya yung pinaka-importanting tao dito sa loob ng assembly. Katulad ng sinabi ni Edgar, it's good to know kung bakit tayo nandito. No? I would also like to acknowledge yung mga conveners group already mentioned by Edgar kanina, Kadtuntaya Foundation Incorporated, Christian for Peace, Timuay Justice and Governance, Metomg Kaadatan, Bangsamoro Leadership Management Institute, and of course, Consortium of Bangsamoro Civil Society. Yung kayo na nandito ngayon na nakasali sa first General Assembly, maalala ninyo noong January 2, 2019, the Interfaith Action Network for Peace held its first General Assembly with more than 100 participants also coming from the different communities, the Muslim communities, Christian communities, and the indigenous people. Maalala ninyo, the theme then was building platform for interfaith action. Building platform for interfaith action. Yung po yung nagiging foundation ng ating interfaith action for network for peace. And you would remember, yung unang assembly natin was held 3 weeks before. And if you would remember, isa sa mga resolutions na ating ginawa bilang tulong sa BOL, in which we adopted during that time, was welcoming the BOL. And I would like to quote one of the resolutions of the First General Assembly. In the interest of peace, we welcome the ratification of the BOL as a tool to sustain the initial gains of the peace process which is now being enjoyed by our people. And unquote. Yung po, iba yung political landscape noon. Today we have a new political landscape under the new Bangsamoro organic law. May pagkakaiba po. There are available opportunities and there are also challenges. In our response to the emerging socio-political development in the Barmm are governed by our strong conviction that a more unified action and convergence of effort can lead us to our goal for peace. And you will also notice, in our assembly today, next month will be the beginning of the anniversary of the BOL. It's interesting that we are doing things in, before, and after the BOL. From an Interfaith perspective, a strong social cohesion among people of different culture and faith in promoting good governance is a key in fulfilling the promise of positive changes in the Barmm. Today we are the Second General Assembly of the Interfaith Action Network for Peace before the anniversary of promoting cohesive interfaith action for good governance and social equity in the Bangsamoro. Yung po, noong una ay building the platform for interfaith dialogue. Today is already strengthening a cohesive interfaith action for good governance and equity. Why did we choose the theme? First, because we are convinced that by working together in cohesion as Muslims, Christians, and indigenous peoples, and with support from other ethnic groups, we can effectively respond to social and political issues that directly or indirectly affect our lives. Secondly, we believe that our differing faiths, being providential, ang ating pagkakaiba ng pananampalataya at pananiwala na bigay ng Diyos, it's a God-given differences, are resources for peace than source of conflict. They are opportunities rather than problems. Our differences are opportunities. They are not problems. So that is the essence of our Interfaith General Assembly today. But for those of you who for the first time attended this assembly, we would like to inform you of what Interfaith Action Network for Peace is. And it is a mechanism of continuing dialogue in life among the tribe people now. It is an action-oriented forum towards building bridges of cooperation and respect and eliminating prejudices, discrimination, and intolerance. And if you see our special guest here in front, diverse individuals on the issue of social inclusion, social equity, tolerance, and pluralism. And that is why we invited them. The Interfaith Action Network for Peace is a mechanism for reflection and action on the current social, economic, and political realities that affect the lives of the tribe people. And who are we? Kung sa text pa, who we? Who are we in this assembly? the participants, these people and other tribes, who are supportive of building the platform for continuing interfaith and intercultural dialogue for peace. That's what we are. The Interfaith for Peace will lead beyond the issue of current politics. Be sustained for as long as social issues that will affect the lives of the tribe people. And what do we want to achieve in this one-day assembly? At the end of the assembly, Interfaith Action Network for Peace is able to reaffirm its commitment for building peace in the Barmm. This is a general goal. Number two, that we participants are able to verbalize our common concerns, written recommendations to the Barmm government. We have concerns as tribe people. We have concerns as individual people. And this one we need to verbalize, and we want to bring the message to the authorities of the Barmm. Number three, that by our presence and being together, we are able to strengthen our resolve and commitment to build strong social cohesion in the Barmm. We hope that we will be able to sustain the unity that we are showing today in this assembly. And number four is that we are able to reorganize new set of officers. And we will present that towards the end of the day. And finally, we can come up with indicative course of action for the months. At the end of the day, one important highlight that we want to achieve in this assembly, present our declaration, our statement and resolution to the assembly, which will be our agenda for meeting the interim chief minister in the coming days. We will hand him over our declarations, where we bring out our concerns and issues for their attention. And this is one way of supporting a more inclusive social equity and good governance in the Barmm. So this is going to the activities of the day. I hope you will maintain your enthusiasm, yung ating interest to talk about our issues. So we here inside the assembly, we will be around, and please be participating because this is our assembly. So I look forward to look at your program, and that's what the activities are written there. Maraming salamat. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. So much, Sir Emil Alim, for the so clear explanation of the things that we wanted to have at the end of the day today. Konti lang naman yun eh. Ang maalala ko sa mga sinasabi niya, we welcome the ratification of the BOL for the sake of seeking peace. At yung goal natin, commitment of everyone for a long-lasting peace in this homeland of ours. Lahat atin na to yung tinawag na Bangsamoro, yan, but every bona fide citizen of Bangsamoro, Cotabato, to the peace message from the diverse culture that we have here, we would like to acknowledge the presence of partners in media. Kasama po natin dito ang taga NICE 91.9, Pidapawan pa yan sila. Nandito sila. Yung radyo natin, at FM 95.9. Thank you so much for coming. And the ABL SNT TV news online. And of course, yung Voice FM Cotabato 99.0. Thank you so much for coming, guys. At this point in time, as we move to the some part of our program, I am once again requesting Sir Ed to introduce the first speaker who will deliver his peace message. Sir Ed.
We are happy that we have with us leaders of our religious leaders of our faith. The first that I have to introduce, she is the next in rank of hierarchy of the Diocese of Cotabato. Kilala ko siya, estudyante pa ako. Kilala ko siya may conflict at yung humanitarian work, and then reactive siya noon. Siya yung kasalukuyang Vicar General of the Archdiocese of Cotabato. Please help me welcome Monsignor Ben Toretto, DCC.
Magandang umaga sa ating lahat, sa ating mga panawing pandangal dito sa ating presidential table. Ang aking papel dito ngayon ay magbabasa lang ng isang mensahe sapagkat ang nakalagay sa ating program ang magbibigay ng isa sa mga mahalagang mensahe ang ating Arsobispo ng Cotabato among the Roman Catholic. Subalit wala po siya at tinatasan akong basahin ang kanyang mensahe, which I believe mahalaga para sa ating lahat, not only in terms of an inspiration, but yung expression ng solidarity para sa ating lahat. So allow me to read to you the message of Archbishop Angelito Lampon of the Archdiocese of Cotabato. February 16, 2020, Second General Assembly of Cotabato Interfaith Peace Advocates, or what we have today, Interfaith Action Network for Peace. Greetings of peace to you, my fellow interfaith partners in Cotabato. How I wish I could be physically present with you during this very important gathering, since I truly believe in the cause we are advocating. However, since February 2019, the Diocesan Clergy of Mindanao had already scheduled for their annual gathering in Manor, Bukidnon, on the same dates as our interfaith gathering, that means today. The DCM, or Diocesan Clergy of Mindanao, will be attended by the 23 Catholic archbishops, bishops, and more than 500 clergy or priests. Actually, on record, because I was there, mga 700 na mga kapitan ang naitala na nag-attend ng annual convention nitong mga kapitan. So please pardon me and allow me to leave you with these few thoughts. The theme of this interfaith thoughts. My own personal experience of interfaith for 20 years when I was Bishop of Sulu and Tawi-Tawi. You know that, the island provinces. And of our interfaith advocacy within Barmm. My own personal experience of interfaith in Sulu and Tawi-Tawi for 20 years. I was ordained in Rome, that means Bishop Lampon, in Rome by Pope John Paul II. Now, in the Catholic faith, he is known to be the Saint John Paul II. Bishop Lampon was ordained Bishop of Sulu and Tawi-Tawi in January 6, 1988. I was already working in Rome at that time for 6 years as OMI General Counselor for Asia with 14 countries under me. Sulu and Timuay has a population of 1.4 million. 97% is Muslim and only 3% are Christians or non-moral. My predecessor, Bishop Benjamin de Jesus Oimay, was killed on February 4, 1997 with 8 bullets in his body at 9:30 in front of his cathedral in Bodo for no reason except that he was a Christian and a bishop. 2 of my priests, Father and Father Benjamin Inocencio Oimay was killed in Bodo while going marketing. Ang pagkalam ko nito, mayroong youth assembly ang lahat, not only Catholic, and he was doing the marketing himself. He was shot in the head. Father Reynaldo Roda Oimay, a Cotabato, was killed in convent of Tabawang, Kawitawi, at 8 o'clock in the evening while praying in his chapel. Many more of our Catholic lay leaders were kidnapped and killed during the 20 years I was bishop in Bodo. Through the years, we built more than 3,000 housing projects, and since the population is 97%, naturally, the beneficiaries were mostly Muslims. We have Bajau learning centers and many other pastoral ministries to help the people. When there were victims of wave surge and fire victims, sunog, we opened our cover court and nurturing schools to house all the victims, most of whom were Tausugs, Samals, and Bajaus. No question asked, was the victim of natural calamity. We had a very strong interfaith group in Bodo. The last Mufti Jacob Smith, my good friend, was a true brother to me. I was sharing these thoughts with you not to that whatever our faith and tradition might be, we could do things together. Bold letters, together. Our motto with Mufti Jacob Isbe was, if we, your religious leaders, could be friends, could drink coffee together, could eat together, could laugh together, and could be friends, why can't our Muslim do the same? As religious leaders, friends and work for the common good, trying to make a statement, please follow our examples. True and authentic interfaith interaction means something like this. You let the way you do. When we exchange eyeglasses, I hope that you will see also what I see according to my faith and belief as holy and sacred. We try to see the reality of the other, sees it without prejudice or bias. But this is not easy. How do we forget and erase the decades of biases and prejudices when we experience through the many years? Your brother, your sister, uncle, and others were killed during the illegal black shirt fighting in the early 70s. Recently, there were many Muslim Christians animosities which caused so many lives. How can we forget and forgive? This indeed is a great challenge for all of us, Muslims and Christians of will, who wants peace. The heart of peace is peace in the heart. My challenges of interfaith advocacy in Barmm. The theme of the Second General Assembly of Cotabato Interfaith Gathering is promoting cohesive interfaith action for the good governance and social equity in the Barmm. This is a Herculean challenge. Herculean means not only great, but really huge. But from the outset, I would like to state that I am supporting 100% the stable establishment of. This is our only hope for an enduring peace in Peace in Mindanao has been elusive dream. Therefore, we should work together by promoting inclusive interfaith action for good governance and social equity in the Bangsamoro. Barmm is a newly created political entity which endeavors to empower the Bangsamoro and within Barmm to achieve peace. But Barmm is an intricate political entity which needs all our help to make it work. There are many competing clans and interest groups in the BTA which seek to promote their own. Our vigilant, cohesive interfaith action for good governance and social by drafting and proposing well-thought of recommendations in behalf of the grassroots constituents of Barmm, so that their voices could be heard by those in Barmm governance, auditors of Barmm, yet by our active interfaith involvement for good governance, we can help monitor in the implementation of the many social and infrastructure projects of Barmm. As a neutral body, and only for the interest of the common good, we could be instruments of transparent, accountable, and responsible governance of Barmm. We trust in the integrity of our current Barmm PTA. Our only intention is to be of help to carry out their duties. For me personally, the success or the failure of Barmm will depend on the integrity of our current Barmm officials. Simply put, will they be responsible in their governance, which means putting the interest of the common good above their personal interest and that of their clan? Will they be transparent and accountable in handling the billions of pesos entrusted to them for the good, the development, and progress of Barmm? These are key questions which will determine the future of Barmm, as well as the lasting peace in Mindanao. And we are all stakeholders on these issues. So, on the second General Assembly of our interfaith body, let us pray and work together to support Barmm so that it may render its constituents good governance and social equity. Signed, Archbishop Angelito R. Lampon, Archbishop of Cotabato. Salamat po.
Thank you so much, Monsignor, for reading the wonderful statement of Most Reverend Angelito Lampon, OMD. OMI. Sorry again. Nagudulas eh. And napagaganda ng mensahe. At ang focus ng mensahe ay having that good governance and social equity. At sa huli, binanggit niya yun. Pinaalala niya sa ating lahat na we are all the stakeholders for it. For the good governance and social equity, we are all stakeholders. Meron tayong mga papel na dapat na gampanan bawat isa. Napakaganda ng buo ng mensahe when he talked about the experiences of crossing religious boundary for the sake of spreading peace. Yung pinaka-basic sample yung interfaith outreach na kahit mga Kristiyano, when the Muslims are in need, our brothers, brethren, and Christians are ready to give their hands for us. Napakaganda ng mensahe. At ang susunod, papasa din ng mensahe, message from the PCEC. And this message is to be read by Pastor Daniel Calviran.
Armas, to the gentleman in the presidential table. Before I will read the message for the Second General Assembly of the Interfaith Action Network coming from the PCEC, Philippine Council of Evangelical Churches, I would like to recognize one of my guests from World Vision, the in charge of inter-religious dialogue, Mr. Oliver. I'll be reading the message of Reverend Dr. Aldrin M. Moral. I quote, "Greetings of peace from the Philippine Council of Evangelical Churches. Assalamualaikum. Pio Bagi Moya. I would like to greet the organizers of Interfaith Action Network a happy second anniversary. I congratulate each and every member of the network for steadfastly promoting peace among the different faith traditions in the Bangsamoro region. It was a joy and privilege to be with you all last year. And while with you today in spirit, I hope to see you in the coming years. This year's theme is truly relevant. For after the celebration of last year's success, when the Barmm was finally inaugurated, we are now at a moment when, with the honeymoon period over, we have a clearer view of the seriousness of the challenges of governance. While the role of our political leaders in the Bangsamoro government is crucial, especially those in the PTA, headed by Chief Minister Al-Haj Murad Ibrahim. We as citizens and as religious leaders have also much to contribute toward the good and successful governance and social equity in the Bangsamoro. Key to what contribute is our recognition that cohesive interfaith action is essential. Indeed, as Muslims, indigenous people, and as Christians, the past years have shown us that one of the foundations of a peaceful society is the harmonious relationship among us and other people from different faith traditions. As religious persons, we know that peace is not anchored on material goods or security mechanisms. However important that may be, one story in the Bible tells how a house built on sand can be easily destroyed, while one built on rock is not easily crushed, in Matthew 7:24-27. Similarly, I believe that our cohesive relationship is foundational for the peace and bright future of our beloved Bangsamoro. As Jesus Christ teaches us Christians, if we love God, then we are to love also our neighbors. In Mark 12:30-31 and in 1 John 4:20. And so, I urge you, my dear brothers and sisters, to continue the struggle against prejudice, to continue the fight against any teachings that will lead to hatred of others. Let our love for one another be the root of love of our hearts, the basis for the governance that we seek, and the foundation of genuine equitable policies in the various sectors of the Bangsamoro society. With each of us looking after one another, caring for each other's community, I am certain that the Bangsamoro will truly what it was meant to be, a land of promise where dreams are fulfilled. Thank you very much. Mabuhay po kayong lahat. Reverend Dr. Aldrin Moral, Executive Director of PCEC, Justice, Peace and Reconciliation Commission, PCEC Theology Commission, and Center of Research for Christian-Muslim Relations. Good morning po.
Maraming salamat, Pastor Dan, sa pagbasa ng napakagandang mensahe. At this point in time, ang maririnig po natin ngayon ay ang Mufti ng Bangsamoro. Marahil ay marami nang nakakilala sa kanya dito. At dahil hirap siya, ay dadalhin na lang natin sa kanya yung microphone natin. Si Huwebes Abu Huraira Udasan, Bangsamoro, Mufti.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillah. Wassalatu wassalamu ala Rasulillah wa ba'd. My respect to our Master of Ceremony. My respect to all our reverend fathers here, my left side, like father is my best friend, yes, long time ago, and until now. And my respect to my brothers here, kung mga mata ko niya, sa kawalan ko niya, tamang ganong drums, ganong mga topic of my speech given to me according to the invitation is leadership and moral governance in Islam. And I believe that in dealing with Islam, guided by the glorious Quran and the Sunnah to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Knowing that the glorious Quran is our best guidance according to the Islamic faith. Verse number 9 of Surah Al-Isra, يقول الله سبحانه وتعالى إن هذا القرآن يهدي للتي هي أقوم. Surely or verily the glorious Quran will guide you towards perfection. In another verse, verse 89 of Surah Al-Nahl, ونزلنا عليك الكتاب تبيانا لكل شيء وهدى ورحمة وبشرى للمسلمين. O Muhammad, we have indeed given you this book. That is the glorious Quran. We have revealed to you this book, the glorious Quran, explaining everything. The glorious Quran explains everything. The glorious Quran is revealed to mankind and it unfolded to man the phenomenal book of nature, paving way for us to carry out research. And then another characteristic of the Quran according to this verse is a best guidance for mankind. It is a blessing from Allah and of course happy tidings for the. In this respect, we have to understand also, we have to remember that the glorious Quran is the final word of Allah revealed to mankind through the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and it is of eternal message, universal relevance, everlasting punctuality. By the body of teaching of the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, which we describe as Sunnah to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And these two, the glorious Quran and the Sunnah, are accorded with infallibility as emphasized by the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam in his saying, "Taraktu fikum amrayn lan tadillu ba'di ma tamassaktum bihima, kitab Allah wa sunnat rasulih." We have left for you two things which guarantees that you will never go astray as long as you uphold them. They are the glorious Quran and the Sunnah to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. In the course of our discussion, you can find a number of verses from the glorious Quran as our basis, as our guidance, in our effort, in our support to the moral governance of the Bangsamoro in its drive toward unity, solidarity, and integrity. We cannot deny that our society is a multi-religious society. And we have diverse cultural practices in our society and diverse ethnicities. But we have to exert our effort in order to establish government or moral governance of what you call unity in diversity. We have to be united although we cannot deny the diversified cultural practices of our people. Verse number 13 of Suratul Hujurat, that is the Glorious Quran. Ya ayyuhan nas inna khalaqnakum min dhakarin wa untha waja'alnakum shu'uban wa qabaila lita'arafu inna akramakum 'inda Allahi atqakum. This verse is addressed to mankind as a whole, irrespective of religion, Jews, Christian, pagan, Buddha, Buddhist, and Muslim. Ya ayyuhan nas, addressed to all mankind. We have created you from a single pair of parents. We have the single pair of parents, only Adam alayhi salam. And we made you into tribe and into nation so that you have to be acquainted with each other. But bear in mind that all of you are of footing of equity and equality in the sight of Allah. The most dignified among you is the most disciplined, the most pious in the sight of Allah. And this has been emphasized by the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam in his farewell speech when he was standing at Arafat during his performance of Hajj, and that was the last year of his last year of his life in this world. He said, "Ayyuhan nas, inna rabbakum wahid, wa inna abakum wahid, kullukum min Adam wa Adam min turab. لا فضل لعربي على عجمي ولا لأبيض على أسود إلا بتقوى الله أكرمكم عند الله أتقاكم." Oh mankind, irrespective of religion, your God is only one. God of the Christians is only one. God of the Muslims are one. God of the Christians are one. God of everybody is one. And of course, this has been emphasized by the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that there is no superiority of the Arab over the non-Arab. No, the white man over the white man. Regarding the message of both Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and Jesus Christ, and of course Moses alayhi salam, recorded by the Old Testament. So, the message here is our God is only one. We have to remember the Gospel according to St. Mark, chapter 12 and verse number 29 of the New Testament. When Jesus Christ was asked by the scribe, what is the first commandment? He said, listen, O Israel, the first commandment is that the Lord God is only one Lord, one God. The same thing emphasis of one God in the Old Testament. And the Old Testament is identical with the Hebrew Bible. Chapter 20 and verse number 3. The first commandment is, thou shalt have no other God besides me. Only one God. Yes. Of course, there are some slight difference. We have been in similarities regarding oneness of God. Christian, Jews, high priests, and Muslims. But of course, there are some slight differences if you read through the Bible. For example, and in the Bible, it has been stated there that God had begotten the Son, that is Jesus Christ. If you go to the Gospel of St. John, chapter 3 and verse 16, for God loved the world so much, He gave His begotten Son. Those who believe in Him shall never perish, but will have an everlasting life. Yes. And if you look at the greeting of peace in Islam, in the Quran, and in the Bible, in Islam, the greeting of peace in Arabic term, Assalamu alaikum, peace be upon you. It means to say that if you are greeting your brother Islam with this Islamic greeting, peace be upon you, no hostility between us, no animosity, and no enmity among us, no elbowing each other among us, but unity and solidarity and integrity. We can find also this is a peace greeting of peace. In the New Testament, the Peter second, the second epistle to Peter, that is verse number 2, grace and peace be multiplied unto you in the knowledge of God the Father and Jesus Christ. So all of these are similarities between us. So no need for us to promote division among us, because we have one God. We have similarities in our activities. And then if you go further to the teaching of the Quran, the same thing with the teaching of the Bible. That is, how to deal with our fellow men in courteous matter, gentle dealing. In the Bible, the teaching of Jesus Christ, I remember right. In the Gospel according to St. Matthew, that is chapter 5, verse number 9, blessed are the peacemakers. Yes. And if you go to verse number 44 of the same chapter, love your enemies, bless them that curse you, do good to them that hate you, and pray for them that despitefully you. And the same thing with the Quran. If you go to verse number 34, الذي بينك وبينه عداوة كأنه ولي حميم. Never will goodness or righteousness be equal with evil. Rebel evil with something which is more better, so that that man who is very hostile against you will all of a sudden become your intimate friend. And the same teaching of Jesus Christ also in the Bible. The Gospel according to St. Matthew, chapter 5, verse 39. If you smite at your right cheek, turn to him your leg. And in the Quran, verse 126 of Surah An-Nahl, فَإِنْ عَاقَبْتُمْ فَعَاقِبُوا بِمِثْلِ مَا عُوقِبْتُمْ بِهِ وَلَئِنْ صَبَرْتُمْ إِنَّ لَهُوَ خَيْرٌ لِلصَّابِرِينَ. If you retaliate, if you punish, ensure that your punishment will be in proportionate with what had been done to you. And however, if you exercise patience, so it's better for you to exercise patience. Turn to him your left, so that no more enmity and no more quarreling here. Yes. And another quality of another solid feature of moral governance is honesty. Yes. Surah Al-Fatiha. يقول الله سبحانه وتعالى يا أيها الذين آمنوا لم تقولون ما لا تفعلون كبر مقتا عند الله أن تقولوا ما لا تفعلون. Oh, you who believe, why say something but you do another thing? Why say that is good thing but you are doing another thing? It is consistent with what you are saying. It is a sign of hypocrisy. It is a sign of dishonesty. So the moral governance is to be made in honesty and trust. In another verse of the Lord's Quran, another verse of the Lord's Quran is verse 44 of Surah Al-Baqarah. Why do you enjoin on men to do righteousness, to do good things, but you forget to do it by yourself? And then another solid feature of moral governance is there should be a balance between the ethical side in doing our job and in our academic skill. You remember the very first verse in the Lord's Quran, verse of the Quran, is verse number 1 of Surah Al-Alaq. Iqra bismi rabbik. You have to recite, you have to read in the name of your God. We are here commanded not only to recite, not only to read, but to put into practical life what we are reciting. That is the message of the Lord's Quran. And while putting into practical life, we should not forget the moral side, the ethical side, and the spiritual side in doing our job. There are so many leaders who have passed away. They are very skillful in their leadership, but because of the absence of moral side, of ethical side in doing their leadership, in leading their people, instead of leading their people to prosperity and success, they plunge their people into chaos, into destruction. Another thing here is that verse 124 of Surah Al-Baqarah reminding us how Abraham had pleaded to his God. The verse goes like this: وَإِذِ ابْتَلَى إِبْرَاهِيمَ رَبُّهُ بِكَلِمَاتٍ فَأَتَمَّهُنَّ قال إني جاعلك للناس إماما قال ومن ذريتي قال لا ينال عهد الظالمين. Behold, Prophet Abraham have been tried by your Lord. And of course, Abraham had faced many trials. One of these trials of God, was he was commanded to sacrifice his then only son Ismail alayhi salam, according to Islamic faith. Of course, the sacrificial son, according to the Bible, was Isaac. Yes, a very slight difference. And all of these trials have been overcome, surmounted by Abraham. So Allah rewarded him. Inni ja'iluka linnasi imama. Abraham, as designating you as leader to entire mankind. Abraham pleaded, Qala min dhurriyyati, oh my Lord, oh my God, not only myself to be leader, but even my offspring. But Allah said, Qala la yanalu ahdi al-zalimin. Even though they are your offspring of Abraham, even though your progeny, if they are evildoers, they will not be qualified as a leader. Yes. Because my covenant, according to Allah, is beyond the reach of those who are evildoers. Another thing here is the life of moral governance is justice. And verse 135 of Surah An-Nisa, على أنفسكم أو الوالدين والأقربين إن يكن غنيا أو فقيرا فالله أولى بهما. Oh, you who believe, you have to stand out firmly for justice as witnesses to Allah. Even though standing out for justice might be against yourself, it might be against your self-interest, and it might be against your parents, it might be against your king, and it might be against the rich or the poor. Because some people are inclined to favor the rich because they expect some good return from them. Of course, some people are inclined to favor the poor because they are generally helpless. But both partiality in dealing people is inconsistent with the Islamic teaching and Islamic practice. Another thing here is consultation. The life of the moral governance is consultation. The Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was not about to consult, because whenever he was about to go wrong, the revelation of the Quran, the revelation comes down to him to set him aright. Yet he had been commanded to consult. Verse 159 of Surah Al-Imran, فَبِمَا رَحْمَةٍ مِّنَ اللَّهِ لِنْتَ لَهُمْ وَلَوْ كُنْتَ فَضًّا غَلِيظَ الْقَلْبِ لَانفَضُّوا مِنْ حَوْلِكَ فَاعْفُ عَنْهُمْ وَاسْتَغْفِرْ لَهُمْ وَشَاوِرْهُمْ فِي الْأَمْرِ فَإِذَا عَزَمْتَ فَتَوَكَّلْ عَلَى اللَّهِ. It is the part of the mercy of Allah to you, O Muhammad, that you have dealt with your people so gently. This is how the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam deal with his people, that you have dealt with them gently and courteously. Were you so severe and harsh-hearted in dealing with your people, they would have broken away from you. So ask over their fault and ask forgiveness for them, and consult them in the affair of the moment. Consultation is very important. So consult them in the affair of the moment. However, if you have taken your decision and you are sure that your decision is the best decision, and then not to put your trust in Allah. Loyalty in the messengers and those who are in authority among us. Verse 59 of Surah An-Nisa, يقول الله سبحانه وتعالى يا أيها الذين آمنوا أطيعوا الله وأطيعوا الرسول وأولي الأمر منكم. Oh, you who believe, you have to obey Allah, you have to obey the messenger of Allah and those who are having authority among you. Of course, evidence to our authority, having authority among us, is conditional, on condition that their obedience, their loyalty to Allah and the messenger of Allah. Loyalty to Allah and the messenger have been reflected by the inaugural speech of the first Khalif. After the demise of the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Abu Bakr had been appointed as the Khalifa of the first Khalif of the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. His inaugural speech went more or less like this. أيها الناس قد وليت عليكم ولست بخيركم بل أنا أثقل منكم حملا أو حملا دعوني ما أطعت الله ورسوله فإن عصيت الله ورسوله فلا طاعة لي عليكم. Oh men, obey me, support my leadership as long as I base my leadership on the glorious Quran and the Sunnah, as long as I obey Allah and the Messenger of Allah. If I debate from the Quran and the Sunnah, you are not bound to support me. Another example of consultation and unwavering loyalty to Allah is once the Khalif, the second Khalif Umar bin Khattab, was addressing a multitude of Muslims. All of a sudden, a Bedouin stood up just before the Khalif. And he was expressing his views, but a harsh voice, because he has no protocol. He was accustomed of addressing his goats and camels in the farm. So one of the companions of the Holy Prophet were trying to drive away the Bedouin. Oh, how dare you are, you're shouting before our leader. But Umar ibn Khattab said, leave the man expressing his views, because if the people will not express their views, they are useless. We, the leader, if we do not listen to the people, we are also useless. And I think last point in my presentation here is verse 26 of Surah Al-Baqarah. وَإِذْ قَالَ إِبْرَاهِيمُ رَبِّ اجْعَلْ هَذَا بَلَدًا آمِنًا وَارْزُقْ أَهْلَهُ مِنَ الثَّمَرَاتِ مَنْ آمَنَ مِنْهُمْ بِاللَّهِ وَالْيَوْمِ الْآخِرِ قَالَ وَمَنْ كَفَرَ فَأُمَتِّعُهُ قَلِيلًا الْآيَةِ. Abraham pleaded to his God, oh my God, make this city of Makkah a city of harmony and peace, and give sustenance to the dwellers of this city, those who are believing in you and believing in Allah. It means those who are believers only. Allah said, وَمَنْ كَفَرَ فَأُمَتِّعُهُ. Even the non-Muslim, even the non-believers are also entitled to have sustenance from me. It means to say that in the moral governance, in running the moral governance, there should be inclusivity, knowing that Islam is a religion or deed of association, not isolation. It is a deed of accommodation, not marginalization. It is a deed of inclusivity, not exclusivity. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Ya Mufti. Narinig na natin yung paliwanag ni Mufti sa good governance. At I'm more paliwanag for that. And by Father Francis Imperial.
Kapayapaan mula sa simbolo ng Episcopal Diocese of Southern Philippines based in Cotabato City, started 1976 as a Dacian part of the Episcopal Church, with its local church units or parishes or missionary work from 5 deaneries, the deanery of Southwestern Mindanao, that is in Zamboanga City, here in Cotabato and Maguindanao, and the Sultan Kudarat, Calamansi, and Iba. The other diocese is the Diocese of Davao, that is from the city of Davao, the Region 12, and Caraga region. Now, the Episcopal Diocese jurisdiction, our fifth Dacian Bishop, just last August 6, he was consecrated and installed as Dacian Bishop. We want to bring to this august body, to this Interfaith group, the Right Reverend Ernie Moral.
from the Episcopal Diocese of Southern Philippines, I view Assalamualaikum. I would like to manifest this to the right group, or belong to the indigenous people of all in the Barmm area, covering for almost a decade also. To our honorable speakers, presenters, peace advocates, peace ambassadors, started from Mr. Alim, Father Clifford, a better morning to all. I think I have nothing to say. We have heard it a lot, and I feel so delighted with the presentation and speeches from our speakers, especially for our last speaker, to our Mufti. But nonetheless, allow me to share what I have prepared so that there is justice. I was informed that I have to give peace message on the second assembly, General Assembly of the Interfaith Action Network, with a theme promoting cohesive interfaith action for good governance and social equity in the Bangsamoro. In occasions like this is an opportunity to share dreams. Dreams of what we need to be in our beloved land in Mindanao or in the Barmm area in particular. The promised land for all who seek peace, unity, justice, and equality. First, I believe in the mystery of dialogue. It is always ends to a very good result. Thus, dialogue movement has been promoted as an effective medium to achieve dreams for a better life for all. Yes, I have a dream. A dream that we may have a very good encounter in our life as we promote a unified interfaith action for a good governance and social equity in the Bangsamoro. Since the new system and form of government is starting to roll. A dream that finally we can solidify our actions that supports political agenda on good governance and social equity in the delivery of services in all our people. I pray that we may have to love all and to take care to all. Sabi nga ng mga millennials, sana all. Because we are part of the same human family, people of different cultures and religions, but created by the same God who loves us all. I dream to inspire many to dream with me, and together we live and promote the culture of dialogue towards the paths of peace, social equity, justice, untiring support for our good governance in our new Barmm. The dream was and still is to promote a dialogue which starts from a spiritual approach, convinced that dialogue starts from God and brings people back to God in peace. I was convinced, and I am still convinced, that Muslims, Christians, and people of other faiths understand the language of spirituality because it is the deeper language of human beings that each one can experience in one's own religion. Brothers and sisters, this is an occasion for us to tell each other that we have to live our dream in life, in good and bad times. In the process, we must internalize the dream so that it could be more visible through our life and actions, working with passion and determination. The Bangsamoro struggle and experience gave us strong conviction that if we have a dream, we have to move with courage and passion, with determination and patience. There are many peace initiatives around the world. Among the many good initiatives is one that has been promoted by the United Nations in 2010. This is Interfaith Harmony Week. This initiative based on the love of God, the love of neighbor, and the love of the common good. When this initiative was launched, I believe that signaled the advent of the fulfillment of many dreams of our sisters, sharing together the love of God. Indeed, there are many initiatives for dialogue for peace, but most of them, sorry to say, are based on strategies and calculations. On the contrary, I believe that sustainable peace has to be founded on a spirituality of life in dialogue with God, yourself, with others, and with the rest of creation. A spirituality which accepts different beliefs and helps all to work together for the common good, especially in solidarity with the poor, the helpless, the defenseless, the last, the least, the lost, for the protection of creation. This attention to environment is for us the dialogue with creation. One dialogue that needs our collaborative attention is the alarming situation of our environment, not only in Mindanao, but the whole world. Modesty as business of our mountains covered with green trees, bringing back the glorious years of the promised land, so blessed with milk and honey for all Mindanaon. This is one of the social environment mandates from God, to be good steward of His creation. Peace should not be only looked on the absence of violence and conflicts, but let us also internalize peace in the context of environment. Let us make cohesive interfaith actions towards this concern. I guess all of us has developed and continues to develop programs of formation for youth and leaders in the grassroots, and developing some linkages with many government offices and NGOs. All these efforts for us are part of the spirituality of life in dialogue and the promotion of the culture of dialogue that helps give attention to the different aspects of human life. This is the time for us to build bridges of peace and find ways to harmonize the aspiration of our people. This is very true to our present context in Mindanao. It is time for all of us to promote cohesive interfaith action and find pragmatic solutions guided by sincere intentions, with high hope that along the way we continue to share and to improve what is needed for the common good. Let us focus our attention on love of God and the love of our neighbor as the greatest commandment of God. It presents the essential message of Christianity based on the Holy Bible. The first quotation that I would like to quote is taken from the Gospel of Matthew chapter 22 verse 33 to 40 that says, "This is the first and the greatest commandment, love of God. And the second is like it, you shall love your neighbor as yourself. On these two commandments hang on the law and the prophets. There is no other commandment greater than this. In the Old Testament, from Leviticus 19, chapter 19, verse 17 to 18, it says, you shall not hate your brother in your heart. You shall surely rebuke your brother, your neighbor, and not bear sin against him. You shall not take vengeance, nor bear any grudges against the children of your people, but you shall love your neighbor as yourself. These two biblical quotations is our primary guide that dictates us as we trudge the road towards the fulfillment of our second assembly theme, promoting cohesive interfaith action for good governance and social equity in the Bangsamoro region. I am grateful to God for the strength to continue to pursue this dream and help us to establish a sustainable peace in Mindanao. This is also the dream of God who started the dialogue. Brothers and sisters, people of different cultures and religions, our noble intention is to promote good governance and support social equality in our present society and continue to stand firm for that dream. Again, let us cement that dream with the love of God and love of neighbor. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity to share my dream and the dream of my church, which I believe is the same dream that each person in this region. I pray further that the next generation has something good to remember in the pages of